Thank you for tuning in to tonight's game. Your game is coming up next. But here's some information from the Indiana High School Athletic Association.
6 easy ways to become an MVP. And by MVP, we mean most valuable parent. Like all of us, the parents of high school athletes tend to protect their children from adversity, or they overly involve themselves by advocating for their success. But when they do, they're negating the value of participating in high school sports. Among other lessons, high school sports teach teenagers to take nothing for granted, how to overcome obstacles, and that an extraordinary commitment of time and effort is required in order to reach goals and experience achievement. High school sports also encourage independence and self-sufficiency, attributes that are needed to be successful in life. It's natural for parents to love their children, and it's important to support them in as many ways as possible. With this in mind, here are 6 easy ways that you can be the MVP of your child's high school team. Number 1, attend your children's games as often as possible. Nothing demonstrates interest and involvement more than being there. And be sure to invite Grandma and Grandpa to come along with you. Number 2, cheer for all the kids on the team, not just your own. Here's a test for you. Do you know all the players on your child's team? Could you say hello to them by their first name? Embracing the entire team is a great way to show that your interest is sincere. Number 3, be a resource for your child's team. Does a teammate need help with transportation? Is the team trying to raise money for new uniforms? Is someone needed to organize a pizza party before the tournament starts? Maybe you can help. Number 4, try not to criticize the coach or the officials in front of your child. Hey, you're human, and there may be times when you need to vent, but be careful when and to whom you do it. Criticizing the coaching staff undermines its credibility and tends to put your child in the middle. And games are seldom won or lost because of an official's call. Remember, coaches and officials are objective. Most parents are not. Empower your child to talk with the coach about concerns. Everybody wants more playing time, and understandably so. But encourage your children to have that conversation with their coaches instead of you doing it for them. Giving teenagers the confidence and conviction to speak up for themselves is one of the greatest benefits of participating in high school sports. Number 6, focus on the life lessons your children are learning, not on win-loss records or how many points they're scoring. According to the NCAA, only about 2% of all high school athletes win a sports scholarship, and the average value of it is less than $11,000. But every child will benefit from the lessons they've learned as a result of participating in high school sports for the rest of their lives. It's difficult being the parent of a high school athlete. There's far more emotion and social pressure involved than is ideal. But if you follow these 6 pointers, not only will your children love and respect you, but so will their teammates and coaches. And you might even be named MVP. Thank you for your support of high school athletics in Indiana. Stay tuned now. The Indiana SRN game is next. Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
Welcome to Guerin Catholic High School. Tonight, another matchup for you as Guerin Catholic takes on Martinsville. 2 teams that are in need to bounce back. Martinsville scoring only 28 points last night. Guerin Catholic losing a Central Conference game that could cost them the conference championship, but who knows? That's why we play them again tonight. It's going to be a great game. Thanks for joining us on Saturday night. It's Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
live from the Nest in Carmel, Indiana, as we get set for a big matchup for both teams, as Keith alluded to in his open. Guerin Catholic taking on Martinsville. It is the Golden Eagles against the Artesians. With my broadcast partner, Keith Myers, I am Kurt Darling, and we're set for two teams that, as you said, Keith, are in desperate need for a win here. Guerin Catholic probably more so than Martinsville, in spite of their record, just because of the sheer fact that they're coming off of a big loss in conference play just the night before at the hands of Covenant Christian, 77-71, the final score in that contest.
Yeah, Covenant Christian came in, played real well. In fact, the game was pretty even. Game was broadcast by us, and then Covenant Christian gets a 12-0 run late in the third quarter, and from there on, Guerin Catholic just tried to come back more and more and more, just couldn't get it down. Free throw shooting hurt them a little bit. Late in the game, some things that Bobby Allen's probably going to correct tonight, and let's see if they can get healthy tonight, because they really feel they can get this game done.
And, of course, that game breaking a big winning streak for Guerin Catholic, as you can see. And they're coming into this contest. They had to come into that contest last night against Covenant Christian on what appears to be an 8-game winning streak. And that broke a lot of momentum for this Guerin Catholic team. But then also on the flip side, Martinsville, they're on a streak of their own, and not the kind of streak that you definitely want to be advertising.
You talked to Coach Kip, and one of the things he said is, we're a JV team playing varsity basketball. They're very, very young, doesn't have a senior, some has some height, but they have a hard time scoring. And, you got to score in this game to win, and it's very tough. On the other hand, Bobby Allen, he is going to challenge his kids. What kind of gut check do you have? How good are you? Are you going to let a loss that hurt you last night hurt you again tonight? And, Martinsville averaging 35 points a game, he says no one are like they'll come in and they'll score 70, and they'll have to score 71 to win. But this should be a fun game. It should be a lot of games and a lot of things going on, because Martinsville is playing for the second season, Kurt. They're ready for sectional play, so they want to finish out doing the little small things so maybe they can have success when it comes in March.
Martinsville coming off of right now a 5-game losing streak. Their last win coming against Eminence back in mid-December. The final score in that game was 64-45 in the favor of the Artesians. And then they're coming off of last night's loss to Bloomington North, 72-28. The final score in that contest. Their second largest deficit of the season. Their first largest was to Center Grove at 79-29. The final score in that one. On the other side, you have also not only just a new team for Guerin Catholic, you have a coach in his second season, and so far they've been able to pretty much replicate some of that success that was held under Pete Smith before he retired.
Yeah, one of the things that when they hired Bobby Allen is that he wanted to put in his system, and a lot of people wanted this job. Bobby got the job. He's put it in his system. The cool thing is, his kids like him and love him and work hard at him. He kept a couple assistants from Pete Smith, and I think that marriage has really helped.
Second year for Bob Allen at the head coach, in the head coaching spot of the Golden Eagles. 23-13 in his second year. He actually has a 79-87 record overall, so he's been able to definitely try and come back from being under 500 in his career overall. But also Kip Staggs on the other side of the coin. He's actually going in the wrong direction. He was above 500 before taking the job, before this latest string of bad luck, but now he's gone below that. He's now 73-75 in his 7th season at the helm of the Artesians.
I've done it. I mean, I coached this game for a long time, and there have been 3, 4, 5 years where you had outstanding winning season, and then you get 3 years in a row where you only win one game. You go, oh my goodness, what happens? And then I got smart. I just left the game and started doing what we're doing now. So that's probably the smartest thing I ever did in my career, other than marrying my wonderful wife, who's listening and watching tonight. So that's the brilliant thing to do.
It'll definitely be a good team, good matchup here tonight for both teams looking for a big win. Martinsville on one having their reasons, as well as Guerin Catholic having their reasons as well. And obviously, if you're talking about this Martinsville team, what exactly do you keep telling this team? I mean, obviously morale probably has to be not exactly at the greatest point at this point in the season.
One of the things Kip told me today was he was amazed how well those kids learn and they understand where they are, because he told them earlier in the year, here's what we're going to do. Here's the wins we may have, but here's the losses that we could have. So what you have to do is just trust the system and let the system work. And when you don't have a senior on a ball club, you want to be listening to what coach says, because he, in his history, he's been a very, very good coach. And we talked about Pete Smith earlier. Pete's in the stands tonight, so that's very interesting, wearing his purple. And Pete could run for mayor at Guerin and probably win.
He'd have to be the mayor of Carmel before he does that.
All
Pre-game
right.
show is brought to you by College Hunks and Movers. We can move anything at any time. Give us a call at 317-739-4262. That's 317-739-4262. We're also looking for some friends. Like us on Facebook. Check us out at our Facebook page at Indiana Sports Radio Network. Like us, you'll be glad you did. We'll take a timeout. Coming up next, more a breakdown of tonight's matchup between the Martinsville Artesians and the Guerin Catholic Golden Eagles right here on Indiana SRN.
Life comes at you fast, so it's important to have some help along the way.
My favorite patient. My favorite patient.
When the dust settles, it doesn't always end as anticipated. Embrace the journey and care for the ones around you.
My favorite patient.
For everything else and every stage in between,
My favorite patient.
Methodist Sports Medicine is here for you.
Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and get everything on demand that is Indiana SRN. Don't miss a game. Just subscribe and rewatch the big game as many times as you want. Our YouTube channel, Indiana SRN. With my broadcast partner, Keith Myers, I'm Kurt Darling.
Hey, Kurt, I'm sorry. I got a hotline here from Jerry down in Florida. He's in Florida tonight. He just gave us permission. If we get to 350 followers tonight on YouTube, that we're going to give out a gift certificate of $25 to Aspen Creek Grill. So if you get on YouTube, subscribe for us. If you're the 350th, who knows? You can win that gift certificate.
Definitely at Aspen Grill. You can get some good grub there as well. Let's take a closer look at the rosters here for tonight's contest between Guerin Catholic and Martinsville, as we'll take a look at the starters for the Martinsville Artesians. And you've got a basically what, and the coach's words, Kip Staggs, JV team playing a varsity game here tonight. Nonetheless, there's some good, pretty solid talent here, and also a little bit of experience with 3 juniors and a senior in the lineup. As you take a look at Caden as well as Landon Myers, Brandon Costin, Noah Stout, and Zach Lynn. Let's look at the other side of the coin here. Guerin Catholic going to be going with their usual lineup this evening of Edwards, Bablia, as well as McGinnis, Weitzel, and of course Parento. And a couple of these guys here, Bernie McGinnis, he's definitely been one of the big dynamos, averaging over 21 points a game so far this season for Guerin Catholic.
Yeah, as Bernie goes, they go. Bernie needs a little bit more defensive pressure. He's got quick hands. I think he will come out. He will be challenged tonight. He was not happy that they got beat last night, and I think his group of seniors got together today during walkthrough and said, ain't going to happen again. We're not going to lose another game. So let's see. We'll test their fortitude tonight and how good and how well they'll play tonight.
And Joseph Babila definitely adding some good minutes off the bench, or out of the starting lineup as well. He's averaging 11 points a game. And also Caleb Edwards, 8 points a game, and also 3.5 rebounds per contest. Also, a couple of the things you can look at here is that this is a Guerin Catholic team that's very efficient shooting the ball as well.
Yeah, they shoot the ball well. Last night, you just run into a buzzsaw a little bit, missed a little 5-foot bunnies a little bit. I think the intensity level that Covenant Christian played, they might not have been ready for. So now you sit down and you look at that. You're still in the running for the conference title. You got to knock off the buff and maybe get some help, but anything's possible. We've seen teams. I mean, Kurt, let's be honest. We've seen teams play so well on Friday night, turn around on Saturday, the same identical team, and they can't put the ball in the ocean. So we'll see what happens tonight.
And, of course, Brebeuf now in sole possession of first place of the Circle City Conference with that loss last night by Guerin Catholic. And now they're actually a half a game back from them as well from second. They're now sitting in an unfriendly third place in the Circle City Conference with about halfway through the season now.
Yeah, the crazy thing is Brebeuf doesn't play a conference game until next Friday against Guerin Catholic. Then they have 2 more games. Then they play the last 3 games. They play 2 more conference opponents. So their conference schedule is a little bit different than everybody else. Everybody else will be done with 3 games or 4 games. And Brebeuf sits there and says, oh, okay, now we got to get in our conference play. A little bit of pressure, if you ask me, because now you have to be tested every night.
And, of course, but still, though, credit to Guerin Catholic. Even with the loss, they only had 3 losses so far this season.
Yeah.
You know, you can't ask for a better start if you want it, but nonetheless, only 3 losses at this point in the season is great. In fact, this is actually their best start since 2015 when they went 22-8, and they won a state title that year.
Yeah, if you're Guerin Catholic fans and you're panicking because you're 10-3, let me tell you, there's a 1-11 team on the other side of the gym tonight that would love to have 10 wins. So, it's the nature of the kids. They're 16, 17-year-old kids, and they just love to play basketball. I think Guerin Catholic will come back tonight and play very, very well.
A look at the Guerin Catholic Golden Eagles as they take the floor for tonight's contest under the tutelage of Bob Allen. And now let's go to the keys to the game here with that. Once again, my broadcast partner, Keith Myers. Keith, what are the big keys tonight for both teams to be successful here this evening?
If you're Martinsville, you want to keep this game close. If you can keep this game within 40 points total, you score 41, they score 40, you win. So they need to keep this game in the 40s. They have to stop turnovers. And what I mean by that, they force a lot of turnovers that they should just take time, maybe eat the ball, do not dribble and then get rid of the ball. A lot of 5-second calls this season, which cost them some turnovers. And then the final thing, they got to rebound. They could outsize Guerin Catholic underneath the basket, so they have to rebound the ball well, and then they have to run the floor. If you're Guerin Catholic, how well are you going to bounce back? Are you going to get ready? Are you going to get knocked in the face again? Or are you going to come back and play very, very well? Then you have to finish at the rim. Last night I counted maybe 4, 5, 6 times where they could have hit a layup and they took a jump shot instead. So you got to finish at the rim. And then every 50-50 ball has to be yours tonight. That was a key last night. And I tell you, Bobby Allen was very upset and told me in the hallway, how can a kid 3 feet away from the ball when we're right there gets the ball? That's not going to happen tonight. So you're going to see a lot of Guerin Catholic kids on the floor tonight getting 50-50 balls.
Those are your keys to the game. As we get set for action here on Indiana SRN, the Martinsville Artesians on the road against Guerin Catholic and the Golden Eagles. Guerin Catholic looking for their 11th win of the season after coming off of that loss last night to Covenant Christian, a big crucial loss in conference play. Martinsville, they're coming off of a loss to Bloomington North, the final score at 72-28 in that contest, extending their losing streak to now 6 games since the last time they were in the W column at Eminence with the final score of 64-45 in that contest.
Real quick, Kurt, while we got a minute, congratulations to Greenwood Christian boys. They're in the Johnson County Finals tonight, and congratulations to both Lawrence North and Lawrence Central. I live in that town, in the town of Lawrence, and someone's going to wear a Marion County title. What a great week of high school basketball with the Marion County tournament, the Johnson County tournament, and then the next week we have all the city tournament games lined up on Indiana SRN. It's going to be a great 2 weeks of basketball.
And that's going to be starting right here on Indiana SRN with Heritage Christian taking on Ritter in the 8-9 game. You can catch that right here on Indiana SRN. First quarter coming up, brought to you by Pipe Logistics, where you can pipe logistics. That'll all be coming up here as now we approach the national anthem. And we'll take a timeout right here on Indiana SRN.
Never miss a big game by downloading the IHSAA TV app for free on any device. For your iPhone or Apple TV, check the App Store. On your Android or Android TV device, load up the Google Play Store. Have a Roku or Amazon Fire Stick? We have the app for you. Check us out on Facebook Live, Twitter, or YouTube Live by searching for IHSAA TV. Or as always, click to IHSAATV.org for quick and easy access to your favorite IHSAA live and archived events.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
Want to know what I like best about playing basketball for my high school? I like it because it's a place where my friends get to see me play. I like it because I'm playing for someone besides myself. I'm playing for everybody in my school and every person in my community.
Indiana high school sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
Hi, I'm Matt Wolford, president of the IHSAA Foundation, and we need your help. We need your help so the youth of our community can develop advanced leadership skills. We need your help giving high school administrators and coaches the instruction and insight they need to be better role models and teachers. To learn more or to make a tax-deductible contribution, go to IHSAAfoundation.org. You'll not only be contributing to the foundation of the IHSAA, you'll be contributing to the foundation of our community.
Getting ever closer to opening tip between the Guerin Catholic Golden Eagles and the Martinsville Artesians right here on Indiana SRN. With Keith Myers, I'm Kurt Darling. Both teams being introduced to the crowd here inside the nest at Guerin Catholic High School. And so far, a pretty solid crowd for both teams here at this evening. More so Guerin Catholic as well as Martinsville, as it is a long drive from the south side of Indianapolis in Morgan County all the way up here to Hamilton County on the north side, as you take a look now at the starting lineups being introduced right now here from the Martinsville Artesians.
Yeah, Martinsville is a long way. They are football rivals. They became basketball rivals a couple of years ago. This is a nice little rivalry. You don't know who's going to win this game because they just flat out want to play hard and go get it. Martinsville wearing their traveling blue with red trim with red numbers should be a lot of fun. Of course, Guerin Catholic, I felt sorry for the manager. She had to wash the uniforms again tonight, so they're wearing the white with the purple and gold trim, and they're throwing basketballs out tonight, so hopefully no one gets hit by one in the head. Nice catch, Kurt, by the way. That's a good catch.
I think that ball was deemed uncatchable by the officials.
Yeah, it's the NFL officials. Don't do replay.
Guerin Catholic 2-0 all-time against Martinsville in the short span of this rivalry between these two teams. Last time these two teams met was back last year, of course. John Harrell predicting an overwhelming win in favor of Guerin Catholic. And, of course, Guerin Catholic coming off of that loss last night to Covenant Christian. Before that, though, they had a solid win against a good Bishop Chatard team, 63-56, the final score in that contest. As both teams take the court here, You're going to have Caleb Edwards going to be facing off against Oswald, and he's underway here at Guerin Catholic High School, and right off the bat, you get a good score there from none other than Bernie McGinnis.
Bernie McGinnis with the 4-foot layup. Here comes pressure that they did not put on last night.
Up top holding it is Rautenkrantz. And now it gets into the hands of Stout. Moving the ball around now is Martinsville.
Guerin Catholic, a man-to-man defense.
Going to their big man, Zach Lynn, down low in that zone defense. Now from Guerin, a little bit too stingy there. Martinsville having a hard time finding a shot, kicking it back outside now to Myers, and he can't get the 3-ball to fall. Quick in transition, as this Guerin Catholic team is known for running, but a little bit too much running right there, as Cameron Whitesell will get called with the offensive foul.
Well, good defense for Martinsville here. Maybe Martinsville want to take 5-6 passes, maybe take some time off this clock. That could be to their advantage tonight, Kurt.
Full court press already here from the Golden Eagles as the Artesians slowly bring it across midcourt. Landon Myers taking his time between the circles. Stingy zone defense here from the Golden Eagles, as there's a 3-ball from Rautenkrantz on the way, and that is off the mark. 0 for 2 now from three-point land are the Artesians. And now a 3-ball on the way from Bernie McGinnis, and he can't that one to fall, and we have a whistle.
Foul's going to be on Stout as he went over the back. His first, the team's first.
So some quick ball played here from Guerin Catholic, and now their first time really setting up on offense. Babila gets it over to Whitesell, and now up top to Edwards. Looking down low, and now another foul going to be coming up on the Artesians. They will probably get Rautenkrantz with his first. That's actually going to go against Landon Myers, and that'll be his first. 2-0 still your score here at Guerin Catholic High School. Edwards in the corner. Long ball all the way around on the other side. Whitesell for 3, and that's off the mark, but there is Edwards for the cleanup.
Boy, you got to clean that up. You got to block him out. You got to make contact. No one blocked him out.
Edwards with his first 2 points of the contest. He's averaging 8 points a ball game. And Martinsville again having a hard time getting some rhythm going on offense.
Yeah, they can't get their secondary going. It's tough.
Rautenkrantz from the corner dribbles back up top. Underneath inside. And nothing doing there for Noah Stout. Running again are the Golden Eagles. Underneath to Edwards, kicks it back out. 3 on the way, and nothing but net for Joseph Babila.
How about that? Had time to set his feet. Good start here for Guerin Catholic.
Spreading the ball out is Guerin Catholic, with 3 different players having scored 3 different baskets to make it a 7-0 contest. And there's some stingy defense from the Golden Eagles. It's tipped out of bounds by Martinsville, and another turnover forced by Guerin.
Here's the replay. Look at the kick out. Edwards sees him in the corner, and he just had all day to plant his feet. Nice job.
And a timeout called on the floor by Martinsville. It is a full timeout. We will take one with them. More to action next on Indiana SRN.
Life Centers offers love and compassion to all women and men who come through our 8 centers. The goal of this love and compassion is that we would not only save babies from abortion, but also transform lives and create families. The forms of this love and compassion are our services. All of our services are offered free of charge to our clients. To learn more about Life Centers, contact us at lifecenters.com or call us at 317-280-2635. Life Centers. We choose compassion.
If you want to watch this game on demand again, or if you missed it, you can just hit subscribe on our YouTube channel. Keep up to date with everything Indiana SRN. Just be sure to subscribe and click that big red button and go to youtube.com at Indiana SRN. With Keith Myers, I'm Kurt Darling, all Guerin Catholic here through the first, about 4.5 minutes or so.
Yeah, Martinsville now calls the timeout. Going to have to regroup and see what they can do. Guerin Catholic has the ball over the side. They're in the driver's seat right now.
3 different players have scored for Guerin Catholic, making it a 7-0 contest. Joseph Babila hitting the lone 3 out of just a couple attempted here by Guerin. And so into the corner now is Babila. He'll dribble all the way around into the corner. And then back up top, and now Edwards will take it. Nifty pass down low, but cannot finish, does Bernie McGinnis. He gets his own rebound and then draws the foul on the second shot.
Well, that first shot is exactly what happened on Friday night. They just couldn't buy a basket. Instead of giving up on it, Bernie got the second one, got contact, couldn't get it up on the cup, but nice job.
Give the foul to Zach Lynn, his first and the third for Martinsville this evening, as McGinnis buries the first of 2 free throws. And he now has 3 points tonight. And just take a look at that foul. It's a pretty easy call there for the officials going over the back. And Bernie McGinnis missed the second foul shot, but on the cleanup there was Jack Parento for getting the 2. So make it a 10-0 ball game, and off the steal on the other end, Babila with a long 2, and he can't get that to fall, and the ball goes out of bounds, and it will be Martinsville ball.
I think they're going to turn this over to Guerin Catholic.
As the officials converse, and that is the correct assumption, Guerin ball.
You know, I used to coach, and that drove me nuts. Edwards.
And Edwards cannot connect on that three-pointer, but McGinnis right there to bat some cleanup. He now has 5 points on the night. So a 12-0 start for Guerin Catholic, and Martinsville is just completely inept on offense right now.
I think you got to look for the basket, though. I love the passing, but you got to shoot. There you go.
There's a long 3 ball on the way, and connected does Caden Rattenkrantz, and that is the first points of the evening for Martinsville. So finally on the board are the Artesians. Edwards off the backdoor cut. He lays it in.
Edwards at the free throw line, watch it, and then all of a sudden had a great lane to the basket.
Some stingy defense. Straddling the midcourt line is Landon Myers.
How about
and
that?
He tries to get it underneath, but it's stolen away by Guerin Catholic. And going for the shot was Patrick Parento. He can't get that to go, but he's fouled as it goes out of bounds. As you take a look at this sequence.
Nice way, set his feet, finished with it pure.
So Landon Myers going to be picking up his second foul here. 2 shots for Jack Parento as he gets the first one to just rattle off the side and out of bounds. And we'll have a line change here for Martinsville. Among them, you'll see Bo Frederick in the ball game, as well as Craig Wessner. And Parento cannot connect at all at the foul stripe. The score remains 14-3. Here's Noah Lynn trying to drive inside. Nothing doing there. And a couple passes, he gets the ball back. Now it's out to Caleb Cheatham. And a traveling violation as Bo Frederick tried to bring it inside. It's now 6 turnovers for Martinsville this evening.
You have to count Guerin Catholic playing a little bit more stingy defense this evening. Really causing Martinsville some fits.
Caleb Edwards, a long pass, and he finds Babila. Martinsville has switched to a zone defense. Kick back outside to Cameron Oswald, and he can't connect on the 3 ball. It goes out of bounds and back to Martinsville. So Guerin Catholic in control both offensively and defensively right now. They are in not letting Martinsville do anything on either side of the floor as you get a full court press and a 10-second violation and another turnover.
I tell you what, the consistency of that call was pure. I mean, that's exactly 10 seconds. I don't know if you counted it or if you looked at the scoreboard, but nice job by the official.
Bernie McGinnis will take the ball out for Guerin. And Joseph Babila facing a zone defense. And a pull up there for McGinnis, and that rattles in and out. Underneath to the big man down low, and that is good for Martinsville as you got Dayton Devon checking in for the first time tonight.
Big boy, wide body.
Up top, Oswald. Back to Babila. Now Edwards had a slight opening there, but doesn't take it. Edwards with a lane inside, draws the foul, can't get the shot to connect. And so another foul on Martinsville here. And you can give that one to Caleb Cheatham, his first and the team's 5th. As Edwards rattles home the first of 2 free throws. 5 points for him tonight. And he's been pretty much the catalyst driving the offense tonight for Guerin.
Put a little bit of pressure as well. Did a nice job putting some pressure on their guards.
1 for 2 that trip. 5 points remaining here for Caleb Edwards. It's a 15-5 lead for Guerin. It's tipped out of bounds by Martinsville on the other end of the floor. And now the first substitution for Coach Bob Adams of Guerin Catholic. As Caleb Edwards will take a breather, and you'll have Cameron Weitzel check back in.
They're going to go for one shot here.
So dribbling in the forecourt is Joseph Babila.
You want to go right about 9.
The 9-second mark has come and gone. And now Weitzel into the corner, Babila, and before he got that shot off, there was a foul away from the ball, an offensive foul, and that's one that you definitely want to have back because Babila's shot was going to be converted.
Elijah Edwards set that illegal screen. Now Martinsville has the opportunity to finish out this quarter strong.
Long shot fired and just off the iron and no good. And it'll be a 10-point lead for Guerin Catholic going into the intermission between the first and second quarter. 15-5 your score, second quarter next on Indiana SRN.
There's no greater anti-poverty measure than to give a person a job. That helps them start to change that trajectory.
Morales Group is a full-service staffing company that provides temporary labor in the Indianapolis, Central Indiana market.
It was a challenge that was given by my father. He wanted me to give back much more than I had been. Then I realized that when he said more, he wanted me to see how I could give more. And it wasn't just in money, but in time and in services. And that's how the Morales Group was created.
I started off at Morales Group as an intern. I interned for 3 years before going on full-time staff here. What I love most about Morales Group is that big family aspect. I come from a big family in Mexico, and since the company is continuously growing, I feel like there's always a new member of the family that I get to know.
We're willing to give. We're willing to serve others, and we're not expecting something in return.
Come talk to us. We would love to work with you.
Second quarter brought to you by Bertner Electric. No project too small. Just call today for service at 317-773-7663. With Keith Myers, I'm Kurt Darling. Second quarter underway as Guerin Catholic has a 10-point lead going into this one. Martinsville having change some things up on offense, and so far it looks like it may have worked as Bo Frederick hits a big three-pointer.
You know, as bad as they've played, they're right into this thick of a thing.
Dribbling around now are the Golden Eagles, looking inside to McGinnis and now back to Babila.
You know, with their zone, they're so big underneath. It's going to be hard to penetrate this.
Defense shuts down the baseline as now Weitzel will dribble in the corner. And he stepped on the baseline, it says the official, and a turnover back to Martinsville.
Kind of like that defense there by Martinsville. Frederick did a nice job of putting pressure on him, stepped on the inline.
Guerin Catholic has certainly been able to move the ball around very well, and that's probably the more strenuous efforts that they've had to have moving the ball around that we've seen all night tonight. And now there's a big steal by McGinnis. He'll go to the basket, draw the foul off the shot, and he'll shoot two.
You know, Bernie pops right back up. I mean, he got hit football. You watched a lot of their football games last year and this year. He pops back up, takes the hit.
Cheatham getting his second personal foul tonight and the sixth for Martinsville as McGinnis buries the first foul shot. It's now 6 points for McGinnis this evening. Getting a look at McGinnis, 21 points a game is the average for McGinnis as he cannot connect on the second foul shot. Inside now to Devon, spin around, fires and cannot get that one to fall. And Guerin Catholic quick in transition, pull-up jumper for Weitzel, and it cannot go. It's off the front of the iron, no good.
You gotta like Devon's little 4-foot jump shot, though. I like that. Maybe he could use the backboard a little bit better.
Devon standing well over 6'6". If you can just look at him right now, definitely the tallest player on the court. As Martinsville will face a full court press, and now they back off, does Guerin.
Devon is only a sophomore too, Kurt.
They get it across the timeline and a double team in the corner, and he cannot handle the ball. It's dribbled out of bounds by Bo Frederick.
How about the pressure? Good pressure on both teams playing pretty good defense.
6.5 minutes remaining in this second quarter. Caleb Edwards holding it up top. Over to Babila. Spencer Wilt in the ball game now. He got his hands on the ball briefly there. Pass tipped out of bounds by Martinsville. It will stay with Guerin. Inbound to McGinnis. Babila almost had an opportunity for a three ball right there.
I think when he triggered it, didn't he?
Ball sails out of bounds. It will stay with Guerin Catholic. And just noticing the sequence right here, Keith, it looks like Martinsville is doing a much better job of shutting down the lane, forcing them to shoot.
Yeah, they want you to shoot from the outside because they think they got the inside game covered. So far they have.
Spencer Wilt back to Babila, looking underneath to McGinnis. He can't spin around because he has Devon right in his face, but still Wilt will try a three, and he gets it. First points for Spencer Wilt tonight, and he is now the 5th different Guerin Catholic player to score. And there's a drive and a nice look underneath to Devon, but he cannot connect on the short bunny off the assist attempt from Noah Stout. And now a blocking foul going to be called on the other end here as Caleb Edwards tried to drive the baseline. Taking a look at this last three ball here from Spencer Wilt.
McGinnis didn't have the shot. They just, the extra pass, walked right into the three, nothing but net.
So now Caleb Edwards at the line for his second trip to the foul stripe. He went 1 for 2 his previous outing, and he cannot convert on the 1-and-1 opportunity. 19-8 is your score. It's the largest lead for Guerin Catholic this evening. Bo Frederick wanted to try that three ball, but thought better of it. Tries to split the defenders. And it's a loose ball, and they're going to call a foul on Joseph Babila. That'll be his first.
Might have held his foot.
And since you cannot do that, that is his first foul and the third for Guerin Catholic. And Guerin has done a very good job of staying out of foul trouble.
Well, you can't do it if they're looking at it. Martinsville's just having a hard time getting their offense in sync. Oh, nice move.
Nice move inside, and getting the shot is Caleb Cheatham, the bench player, making some big impacts on the offensive end for Martinsville. And so he'll have the chance to go for the and one old-fashioned three-point opportunity on this end of the floor. Just take a look at this move from Cheatham as he buries the three-pointer.
Just had the opening and went for it. Nice job. Down to 8.
Three ball on the way from McGinnis, and that's no good. It's tipped out by Edwards, but controlled in the backcourt by Craig Wessner of Martinsville. Edwards one-on-one with Caleb Cheatham. Cheatham showing he can definitely have some moves, and he dribbles around to the baseline, tries to drive it, kicks it back outside. Slow pass picked up by Frederick. And a traveling violation.
You know, that travel call has been made every time we've been here. They're not going to let you reset your feet this year. Point of emphasis. At least it's been consistent.
As we have a couple substitutions checking in for Guerin Catholic. Among them are Cameron Weitzel as well as Cameron Oswald. Under 4 minutes to play here in the second quarter. And there's a rare steal for Martinsville, and they have a good line inside, but Guerin Catholic had the numbers on defense.
Went right to the radio table. Guys from Martinsville here tonight.
And underneath to Zach Lynn, turn around, and he can't get that shot to fall.
Tough shot.
Edwards has a lane inside, delays the layup, and then gets it to roll. A nifty move for Caleb Edwards. He has 7. Then back on the other end, finally Dayton Devon can get something to fall, his 4th point of the night, and he's missed a couple of shots. A 30-second timeout called by Guerin Catholic.
Don't forget this week on Indiana SRN, if you'd like to know what our schedule is, you can check out our website, indianasrn.org. Also, if you'd like to follow us on YouTube and don't miss a game, hit that subscribe button and catch every game. You can watch this game over and over again. You can also watch the Wrestling Circle City Conference Championships, which we did this morning. Kurt got up at 5 o'clock this morning, was here at 6:15. Riley had bacon, eggs, sausage for us. We had a nice little team dinner before the wrestling at 9 o'clock, and then he took us out to dinner for lunch. It was very nice. It's been a nice day being with Riley today.
What I just heard from that sequence was dinner for breakfast, breakfast for dinner, lunch for...
Something like that, but, Jerry's going to notice that his credit card is going to have a little bit of expense on it.
As you take a look at a quick replay here, and Edwards with that nifty move before the timeout. Guerin Catholic on offense back again, as off the previous shot hit by Devon. In the corner now is Oswald. He tries to fire a baseline jumper, and that can't go.
Kind of hard to do that over a 6'9" guy.
Martinsville really trying to get the grease going on their offense. A spin move inside by Cheatham, and he draws the foul. Going to give that foul to Caleb Edwards. That is going to be his first foul. And the fifth on Guerin Catholic. And so Cheatham will head to the line and shoot two. And the front does not have enough oomph on it.
Wow. Someone opened up the door.
Caleb Cheatham only with 3 points tonight, although he has taken very many shots off of the bench, and he can't get the second one to fall either. On the other end is Babila for Guerin. And a loose ball tipped out of bounds, and it is Guerin ball.
Tell you what, every loose ball that's gone out of bounds has gone to Guerin last night. Every loose ball went to Covenant Christian. I do believe we have a timeout. It's a 30-second timeout.
30-second timeout called by Martinsville and the Artesians as they try to cut into this lead. And so far, they've been holding at about an 8-point deficit. 21-13 is your score. The second quarter brought to you by Bertner Electric. No project too small. Just call today for service at 317-773-7663.
We want to thank Bertner Electric and all of our sponsors. Bertner's been around with us for 12 years. Thanks to Jody and Dave Bertner. They have done a great job helping us put on high school sports on Indiana SRN. If you would like to be one of those sponsors, please contact us. Email us anytime at coach@indianasrn.org. We would love to sit down and talk to you how you can put high school sports on webcast and radio on Indiana SRN.
Out of the timeout, Guerin Catholic controlling the basketball, and it'll be Babila with it. Babila has Oswald. Now he'll try a long three. Does Babila off the front of the rim? No good. And there's going to be an over-the-back call on Bernie McGinnis, and a lot of the Guerin Catholic faithful are not too happy with that call. The first foul for Bernie McGinnis. Dayton Devon getting it back up top to Cheatham. Off the screen, pass inside to Noah Stout, and he stepped on the baseline. Actually, it was tipped out of bounds. Actually, it was stolen and then tipped out and then taken out of bounds by Guerin Catholic, so it remains Martinsville basketball. So the Artesians catch a break on this possession.
Yeah, that's a great turn of events there, right?
Cheatham working the post inside,
a
spin move in, and Caleb Cheatham putting the moves on Caleb Edwards.
How did he get in that small space? That's incredible.
7 points this quarter for Caleb Cheatham off of the bench, as a long three is attempted by Cameron Weitzel, and it does not go anywhere and out of bounds.
You know, Martinsville has cut this lead to 6. Here's the replay. Look at this. I mean, this is like threading a needle.
Just had that slight little opening around the left side of Caleb Edwards, and Caleb Cheatham proving to be the better Caleb in that instance right there.
The Barney Rebel shuffle.
Kicking it back out now. Here's Cheatham inside. Devon, spin move, and a foul. And that's going to be on Bernie McGinnis, it looks like. And Bernie McGinnis definitely having his hands full. He stands at 6'3", and he has to look up at probably about the 6'8", 6'9", Dayton Devon. As Devon hits the first of 2 foul shots.
You know, you look at Martinsville, if they knock down their 7 free throws that they have missed, they're right. Well, they're in the game now anyway, but they're ahead of this game.
The largest deficit has been 11 points, and they have since cut it to 6. And Devon misses the second foul shot. Underneath Devon, spin move, and he hits the pull-up jumper right there. And Martinsville has cut it to a 3-point game. Martinsville 1-11 on the season, facing 10-3 at Guerin Catholic right now. Caleb Edwards back outside, 3 on the way from Babila, and that is off the mark. And Cheatham now has a few numbers, but then is triple teamed and is fouled on that pass. Another move here, and just take a look at this one from Devon. Just a spin move over. Looks like that was against Jack Parento. And now getting back to it, a foul is called on Elijah Edwards. And Cheatham cannot hit the 1-and-1 opportunity. That's his first miss at the foul stripe tonight. As we approach the 30-second mark. And Guerin going to be holding for the last shot here. Babila holding it. Now gets instructions to start the offensive sequence. Babila is fouled as he started to drive inside. Is probably going to be against Caleb Cheatham. And indeed, that is the call. That's now 3 fouls on Caleb Cheatham, and that is not something you want if your coach, Kip Staggs, even though he came off the bench, he's been your most productive player this evening. Actually, no, that is 3 fouls. And so Cheatham will take a seat for the Artesians. So Joseph Babila with the 1-and-1 opportunity. He hits the first and earns a second. And he's short on the second one. Loose ball picked up by Martinsville. Shot right at the buzzer. Nope. That is after the shot. They are going to call the shot off. Even though it went in from 3, it was after the buzzer sounded. So the score remains 22-18. And Martinsville coming back from a double-digit deficit to cut it to 4 points. Still, Guerin has the lead at halftime.
I'm Mary. Welcome to Guerin Catholic High School. Many people believe that we're just like any other school, but I'm here today to show you that we're not. At Guerin Catholic, we are family. Now I know that sounds crazy, right? How can a school be like a family? Well, it all starts with St. Theodore Guerin herself. Her charisms inspire us every day. She's been praying for us since before the school was built, before we were even born. On one of her many resting places, it says, "I sleep, but I watch over the house that I have built." As a student, it's so inspiring to know that we have our own saint in heaven praying for us every day. But if you really want to understand what Guerin Catholic's all about, there's a lot more you need to know about us, starting with who we are. Mother Guerin also has some advice for the teachers. She says, love the children first, then teach them. It is these wise words that inspires our teachers to motivate students and look for the best ways to meet each student where they are. You might think with all this love, academics might not be important, but there is nothing further from the truth. It is because of our faith in seeking the truth that we aspire to know all that we can know. But we can't stop there. We have to know how to think about the knowledge in order to make a difference in the world. Whether you need a little extra help or you're ready to be challenged with an international baccalaureate diploma or anything in between, there is a place for you at Guerin Catholic. But we're not just about academics around here. At Guerin Catholic, we are well-rounded. There are so many ways for you to get involved. Obviously, we have sports. We have 21 athletic teams, including swimming. And if you don't play a sport, we're all about supporting those that do. Our student sections are so much fun. We are spirited. And we also have 43 clubs. So if you don't see anything you like, you can start another one. We also have band, choir, orchestra, and theater. We are involved. At Guerin Catholic, there are so many ways for you to discover and use the gifts that God has given you. We are creative. Getting involved in these activities is not just about having fun. It's also about developing skills that help you become a great leader and providing opportunities for you to lead. At Guerin Catholic, we are leaders. Another great way for you to grow as a leader is through service opportunities. There are so many ways for you to share your gifts with others. Mother Guerin says, you will be happy yourself in making others happy. That's what service is all about. By connecting to local organizations or through mission trips, you'll have plenty of opportunities to serve. At Guerin Catholic, we are compassionate. There are so many opportunities to travel at Guerin Catholic, from mission trips to Costa Rica to performing in New York City. We are explorers. You will find the Guerin Catholic community all around the world, working, singing, and learning, all to get closer to Christ. Here we are at our chapel. This is where I leave you. But as you think about your future, I'll give you one last piece of advice from Mother Guerin. Do not give way to uneasiness about the future. Place yourself gently into the hands of Providence.
Your home and office make up a big part of your world. Sometimes trying to manage it all on your own can make you feel like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. And when the weight of the world is on your shoulders, you need a strong back or two to come to your rescue and haul your stress away. You need the College Hunks. Whether it's time to clear some space for new memories, to reinvent the room around you, or to simply pack up and move into a fresh new beginning, you can count on the Hunks to bear your burden so you don't have to. Let us move you today.
Okay, let's recap a bit. God had created a perfect world, and humans just kept making a mess of things. Okay, recap over. Actually, God had now chosen a special group of people, the nation of Israel, to be a blessing and make things right in the world again. but it seemed like from the start, this new nation wasn't going to have it easy. The Israelites had moved southwest to Egypt and had grown into a large nation. The king of the Egyptians, Pharaoh, felt threatened that the Egyptians would soon be outnumbered and overthrown by the Israelites. So he made all the Israelites slaves, working long and hard hours for the Egyptians. Some scholars even believe it was the Israelites who built the famous Egyptian pyramids, but not everyone is sure. One thing they are sure of, the Israelites probably didn't build the pyramid over in Memphis. But the threat to Israel went way beyond slavery. Pharaoh eventually made a law that every newborn Israelite boy should be killed. How was God going to use them to bless the world for years to come if none of them were alive? It was during this time that an Israelite named Moses first gets mentioned in the story. Most of us have probably all heard that name before, maybe even seen a movie or two about the guy. Who knows for sure if Moses looked anything like a well-tanned Charlton Heston, but we do know this from the story. Moses was one brave guy. Even though he was an Israelite, Moses had grown up in Pharaoh's courts, living just like one of Pharaoh's own sons. But that didn't stop Moses from taking Pharaoh head on when he was an adult. God had made it pretty clear to Moses what he needed to say. Let my people go. After years and years of living as slaves, Moses demanded Pharaoh let them leave Egypt. It didn't happen right away, and a lot of bad stuff had to happen to the Egyptians before Pharaoh changed his mind. But finally, he gave in to Moses and to God. He let the Israelites go. Well, not so fast. Pharaoh changed his mind pretty quickly, and right after Israel left Egypt, Pharaoh sent his armies to hunt them down. They chased Israel up to the edge of the Red Sea. They were trapped. Once again, on the verge of escaping disaster, the Israelites now stared death in the face. But Moses stretched out his hand, and the waters of the sea parted so that the Israelites could cross. When the Egyptian armies came chasing after, the waters fell back down, and all the Egyptian soldiers were killed. Israel was free. Sure, it's all pretty exciting when we watch Hollywood recreate the scene. But can you imagine actually being there? Watching all that happen in front of your own eyes? Soon after escaping, Israel had trouble finding food and water, so they started to complain. Because of the complaining, God forced them to wander around the desert for 40 years, instead of leading them directly to the land that God had promised to Abraham. Well, watching a bunch of people wander around the desert for 40 years doesn't make for very interesting movies or TV, so we don't often see it. But it's a huge part of the history of Israel, and also proved to be pretty helpful to them. God used Moses to give them instructions on how to best live their lives according to God's ways. Having spent their lives as slaves, the Israelites were just learning how to be God's free people. It was an amazing journey. God led them by a pillar of fire at night and a cloud by day. Eventually, Moses grew old, and shortly before he died, passed on the leadership of Israel to a man named Joshua. When Moses died, the Israelites stood at the edge of the promised land. Their time of wandering was over, but their struggle to survive was only beginning.
Halftime here at Guerin Catholic High School as the Golden Eagles holding just a 4-point lead over the Artesians of Martinsville High School. They had led by as many as 11 at one point, but the Artesians have had some nifty play down the stretch and have cut it to a 4-point deficit. With my broadcast partner Keith Myers, I am Kurt Darling, and Keith, you know, how do you describe that first half? I mean, obviously, for a team like Guerin Catholic, they should be a little bit more ahead in this contest, but, I mean, which is it? Is it a lack of good play from Guerin, or is it much better play from Martinsville at this juncture?
I do believe it's the 10-2 run late for Martinsville in the first half, and it's also its field goal percentages for Guerin Catholic, only shooting 38%, as Martinsville shooting 40% from three-point land and 50% from two-point land, and you know, if they made some free throws, they might have been ahead of this game, only shooting 33% at the free throw line. But all in all, if you're Martinsville and Coach Kip, you got to be pretty pleased about, one, how your kids bounce back from only scoring 28 points last night, now have 18 and feeling pretty good. If you're Guerin Catholic, you might be concerned a little bit about maybe where your kids are. Legs are key here in the second half. Both teams played very hard last night. Legs are going to go away. It's going to come down to free throw shooting.
Indeed, it probably will, as so far both teams are only shooting at about the mid-30% range when it comes to the foul stripe. The Guerin Catholic Golden Eagles have only made 4 of 11 free throws in the first half. That is not a good statistic if you're coach Bob Allen, but also on the other side, only 2 of 6 for Martinsville. But the one thing that I'm noticing here, Keith, is the fact that Martinsville, they seem to be more efficient with the ball when they're shooting it. They've shot 50% off of just 14 shots. Meanwhile, Guerin Catholic, they're 8 of 21 at 38% shooting.
Yeah, and a lot of that is the inside game, and Martinsville has now opened up a little bit, brought the big fella in. He's done some nice job of getting some easy baskets.
As both teams return to the floor here, Guerin Catholic having to put their halftime talk on hold for a little while there, as they were honoring the Guerin Catholic team to win their first sectional championship all the way back in the early 2010s, as they had a few players come back, as well as Coach Pete Smith among those being honored here tonight. That was definitely a good squad. And of course, the next year in 2015, they would go on to win a state championship, their first in the Class 3A.
Yeah, you look at that Guerin Catholic and the history that Pete Smith was with this ball club. I remember playing Pete Smith when I was at Northeastwood Christian. He had a bunch of freshmen that came, and we beat them by 1 point. 4 years later, he wins a sectional. 4 years later, he wins a state championship. Pretty awesome.
Of course, Pete Seed having retired from coaching for now, but he is here tonight to be honored with many of the players from his team all those years ago. That would be 6 years ago now, as they won the sectional championship for the first time back in 2014, and then they'd one up it a year later by winning their first state championship. As we approach the second half here, Keith, what are some of the keys for both of these teams to improve on going into the second half?
Let's look at the ones that we talked about before the game started. For Guerin Catholic, you got to bounce back. I don't think they're there yet, getting there. They got to finish at the rim. A lot of easy bunnies, so they got to finish there. And then the 50-50 balls. They have definitely got the 50-50 balls in that first half. For Martinsville, they got to stay close. They exactly have done that. They're only down by 4. Turnovers, that's what's really cost them early in the first half. And then the rebounding has really picked up after they put the big fellas on.
We'll take a quick timeout here. Third quarter coming up next on Indiana SRN.
Piper Group Warehouse has a strong commitment to their clients as their logistics provider. If you would like to discover how you can improve your service levels while lowering your overall cost, Piper Logistics Group can help. Call Greg Piper today at 317-396-3916. Piper Logistics Group.
YouTube, you can subscribe to anytime. Hit that red button. We appreciate it. Catch every single game that we broadcast on right here on Indiana SRN. It's our YouTube channel.
Third quarter about to get underway here at Guerin Catholic High School. Kurt Darling with Keith Myers, and Guerin Catholic going to be starting the second half with the basketball. Caleb Edwards with it up top, and now over to Babiwa. Trying to get inside there now is Edwards, trying to look underneath to his big man in Parento, but he cannot handle it, and it goes out of bounds. It was actually tipped out, and good defense by Martinsville. Edwards with a lane floater on the way, and it's good.
Edwards has done a nice job, got 9 points on the night. Nice little teardrop.
And now the first offensive possession of the second half for Martinsville, trying to keep the offensive juices running as they had cut it to a 4-point deficit, and a foul going to be coming up, going to be called on Jack Parento as he fouled Dayton Devon.
Tell you what, they have a hard time guarding the big fella, but he's about, what is he, 6'7", 6'8", maybe 6'9". They're having a hard time getting some pressure on him.
Dribbling around with it and going inside is Landon Myers, but he gets called for the traveling and a turnover back to Guerin.
You know, if he played in the NBA, I don't think they would call that travel, but 5 steps in high school is called travel.
Other end of the floor here. Babila over to Edwards. Taking their time are the Golden Eagles. As Cameron Witzel back outside to Babila for 3, and he hits it from the corner.
7 points on the night for Bobilia. Oh, got it off his foot. Have to go get it.
And back-to-back turnovers for Martinsville, and that's one thing that has really plagued them tonight is turnovers.
Yeah, the turnover ratio has really hurt them tonight, because now Guerin Catholic goes back and they'll pound the ball inside or look for one of the shooters to hit the three-pointer.
McGinnis wanted to try a three-pointer, but he thinks better of it. Babila now over to Edwards. Edwards kicks it back out into the corner. Weitzel for 3, and that's no good. But an offensive rebound corralled by Oswald, and now going inside and gets a little physical. And now Edwards tries again for the lane, and he hits it.
Over the big fella.
And that's now 11 points for Caleb Edwards. He leads all scorers on the floor right now. And an offensive foul away from the ball. They're going to get the big man at Dayton Devon with it.
Boy, he took 2 guys out on the lane. That's a good call by the official.
And a timeout going to be called by Martinsville as they discuss a few things. A 30-second timeout called by Martinsville as we take a look at the replay from this previous score here from Edwards. And he wanted the basketball. He really wanted it, and he just knew he was open.
See what the other defender did. Weitzel moved out of the way, so he had a clear way. His man went to the basket, went away from the basket, made a lane. That's great play, good communication.
So 5:35 remaining in this quarter, as so far it's a 7-2 advantage or so. It's a 7-0 start here in the second half for Guerin Catholic on a 7-0 run out of the half.
You know, a lot of people just tuning in thinking this game got started early. It was started at 5:30. It's weird playing a varsity ball game at 5:30 in the afternoon.
So out of the timeout, Guerin with the ball. And Babila in the corner. Gets a screen from McGinnis. Up top to Parento. And now Edwards. And here's Weitzel, and he hits the teardrop along the corner. Nine to nothing quarter so far. Advantage Guerin. 31-18 your score. Drawing the foul is Landon Myers. He can't get the shot to fall. He'll go for 2. And that's going to be against Babila, his second personal foul. And this is Myers' first trip to the foul stripe tonight. He has yet to get into the stat book, but now you can put him in there as he hits his first foul shot.
Got it within 12.
So now it's back to an 11-point ball game. 31-20 is your score. Here's Babilia bringing it up court.
Well, they just might hold this ball and force Martinsville to go man-to-man.
Martinsville showing a zone defense right here as Babilia. Now they rush him. He almost loses the handle. And a timeout is called by Guerin before they're able to get the jump ball signal. So that was a nifty defensive set there by Martinsville to try and catch Babilia off guard.
That's a heads-up call by the assistant coach. Bobby Allen's on the far end of that. He didn't even see the play. Assistant coach popped up, called timeout, gave it to him.
So nifty eyes there by the assistants, and that's why you have several people on the bench to make sure they cover your butt.
Yeah, I had 7 assistants. You know, I had one for every player. I kind of liked it.
An 11-point advantage for Guerin Catholic. They have led from the very beginning and have not trailed at all in this contest. Well, their largest lead is 13 points, which happened earlier in this quarter. They've since been cut to 11 points off of 2 free throws from Landon Myers on the previous set. And so out of the timeout now, Jack Parento will be inbounding the ball for Guerin. He hits Babilia, and again, Babilia will bring it up top. And now over to Weitzel. Parento can't leave it, now finds Babilia. Babilia dribbling around underneath to Parento, and a nice move inside.
Parento kept on going to the basket. If you're watching the game and you're a young player, that's exactly what you want to do. Keep going to the basket, you're going to get awarded.
Back to a 13-point deficit, tying the largest lead of the night for Guerin. Approaching 3.5 minutes remaining. Martinsville can't get inside. They finally somehow gets corralled by Dayton Devon, and he's fouled as he puts the shot off the front of the iron.
Tell you what, there was 3 guys sagging on him. I think all 3 of them got him, so which one got Weitzel gets charged for the foul.
And so here's the last shot here inside. A nifty pass inside there to Parento. Meanwhile, Devon misses the first foul shot.
Clock guy got quick on the trigger.
As they try to figure out a substitution here, they're going to put Caleb Cheatham into the ball game. Cheatham with 7 points off of the bench for Martinsville in the second quarter, but he also accumulated 3 fouls. So Dayton Devon misses both foul shots. It remains a 13-point ball game.
They're going to go high-low here. They're setting up to top of the key. It's like a fire drill. Everybody wants to know where I go. Where do I go?
Cameron Weitzel with it, looking inside to Edwards, and a foul on the floor. And there looks like they're going to nab Bo Fedrick, giving him his first foul. Rather, his second, excuse me. Shot on the way, and it does not fall, but an offensive rebound from Babilia, and a jump ball is going to be called as Dayton Devon tried to strip it away from Babilia, and the possession arrow favors Martinsville.
Tallest guy on the floor, the shortest guy on the floor, the shortest guy pinned the ball. Good defense.
Cameron Oswald will check into the contest for Guerin, and taking a seat is Jack Parento. He turned in some excellent minutes for Coach Bob Allen. Cheatham bringing it up court, and pass is tipped out of bounds by Guerin. And now you got Cheatham back into the ball game for Martinsville, and he was pretty much an X factor and probably one of the main reasons why they were able to cut it to a 4-point deficit before halftime.
Yeah, he had 5 points in the first half.
Long three from Frederick, and he hits it. That's his second 3-point, that is his second 3-point shot tonight. 10-point game, Guerin leading. And Oswald all the way around the horn to Babilia. Corner, Oswald back to Babilia. And Oswald again. Inside, Edwards, and he's fouled as he goes up for it. A couple of the players wanted traveling, but they're going to grab Dayton Devon with the second foul of the night.
So Martinsville fans not real happy with that foul call.
Oswald fakes the three-pointer, drives the baseline. McGinnis, corner three from Babilia, and it rings around and doesn't go.
That thing was all the way in, it comes right back out, that rotation.
And trying to get it to their big man in Devon, and he cannot corral it. Just out of the reach of the big man.
You know what Bernie McGinnis, though, that did that time, stepped in the passing lane, made that pass a lot tougher than what it looks on TV.
Oswald has McGinnis. And facing this zone defense is Edwards. He splits it back outside to Oswald. Looking for Babilia, but it's just out of the reach in front of him, and another turnover.
You know, you're on the weak side of that offense. You got to make that pass a lot better than making him reach.
Cheatham gets a screen, but also gets his pocket picked by Oswald.
And then gets called for the foul.
And that is number 4 on Caleb Cheatham. So definitely not what you wanted. He's been one of your best players tonight off the bench, and he has to take a seat on the bench.
So we probably will not see him until probably at the 5-minute mark of the fourth quarter.
Cameron Weitzel with it. Here's Babilia. Edwards tries to split the defenders outside McGinnis. 3, and another one that just rings around the rim, no good. And now some defensive pressure from Guerin, a steal and a lay-in by Cameron Weitzel.
Great defense, didn't give up on it.
And now underneath. And pressure is double teamed as now Frederick tries an elbow jumper. That's off the mark, but the putback from Devon. And now a foul on the other end of the floor as Edwards was driving the basket.
Guerin is definitely pushing the tempo tonight.
Give the foul to Noah Stout. His second foul of the night. And now Edwards shooting 2. And he hits the first one. A few substitutions in now. For the first time, we'll see Matt Etchison. As now Edwards makes it 13 points on the night. A couple other substitutions now. Also Dominic Ferrucci seeing his first minutes tonight for the Golden Eagles. 7 seconds remaining in the quarter. And Martinsville going to bring it up quickly. 3 ball on the way from Frederick. That's no good. And time will expire to end the third quarter. And it's a 12-point advantage for the Guerin Catholic Golden Eagles. Timeout on the floor. Fourth quarter coming up next on Indiana SRN.
Hello, my name is Sean Kroll, and I've been a part of the Indiana SRN family for the last 9 years. Last year, we streamed a record 326 sporting events around Central Indiana. All the other guys broadcast basketball and football, but we at Indiana SRN also air volleyball, softball, baseball, and even golf. But we need your help. To continue our mission, please help us by contacting Coach at indianasrn.org. Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
Back live at Guerin Catholic High School with Keith Myers. I'm Kurt Darling. Now, before we get to the fourth quarter, if you want to know a lot more about what's going on around the state of Indiana when it comes to basketball, be sure to get your Hoosier Basketball magazine.
You got one too?
Of course I do, a commemorative edition.
So do I.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, right?
You know, you turn to page 59, you see a great ad of Indiana SRN, and we appreciate Hoosier Basketball magazine. There's our ad right there. Thanks there, Riley. Appreciate it.
So be sure to just go to HoosierBasketballMagazine.org to get yours today. Into the fourth quarter, and Guerin Catholic with the basketball and a foul called as Babilia was trying to set things up on offense. Give that foul to Brady Costin, his first.
You know, if I'm Guerin Catholic, I'm pretty happy with this lead. I would just run some clock and just keep on putting some pressure.
Here's Matt Gillis underneath and all the way around the horn to Edwards. Shaking off his defender is Edwards, but he's fouled before he can get to the basket. And give that foul to Landon Myers, his third.
Landon Myers, his third. Our team is 7.
Next Friday night, Guerin Catholic goes and plays at Brebeuf next Friday night as Edwards hits his first free throw.
Converts the front end of the 1-and-1 and earns another foul shot. And he misses the back end of it. It's tipped out of bounds and back to Martinsville. And as you mentioned there, Keith, Guerin Catholic next in action January 24th against Brebeuf Jesuit. The tip-off for that game at 7:30. Meanwhile, Martinsville, they're going to be taking on Perry Meridian on the road. They're on the south side of Indy. 3 on the way from Frederick, and that's no good. So now Guerin Catholic just going to try and hold things steady here as we go through the fourth quarter. They hold a 13-point advantage. Gillis with a baseline jumper that's off the mark, but a turnaround putback by McGinnis.
Quiet night for Bernie. I have him for officially 8 points. Averages about 22.
Frederick for 3 off the front of the iron. And a rebound and a foul going to be called on Martinsville. And you get Brady Costin again with it. And you can take a look at this move here from McGinnis.
I think he owns a patent on this 4-foot turnaround jump shot.
And now Martinsville will call a timeout. We'll take one with them, a full timeout. More action next on Indiana SRN.
Our family has been very happy working with Wallflower Pictures.
Because they make sure that I get the acting skills that I need in this industry and the education that I need.
Wallflower Pictures supports UV's journey in the industry. They're very passionate about his growth, and they're very professional and attentive to our needs.
And I truly believe in the projects I've worked on, like For the Boys and The Walk.
We love working with Wallflower Pictures.
Click the big red button when you go to YouTube on Indiana SRN so you don't have to miss a game and you can watch any game on demand. Just check us out on at Indiana SRN on YouTube and click the big red subscribe button. You'll be glad you did. 40-25 is the score right now with 6.5 minutes remaining in this contest. A 15-point advantage, the largest lead of the night for Guerin.
You know, if you're Guerin Catholic, you got to be pretty happy. You get bounced back fairly well. A little sluggish in the first quarter, but all in all have really bounced back pretty well. Offensive rebounds are the key here in this third quarter. They have done a nice job of getting rebounds and knocking down some free throws.
Caleb Edwards at the foul stripe for a 1-and-1 opportunity. And he earns another one.
Quick start tonight. They were up 15-5 after into one. I think that helped them a lot.
15 points on the night now for Caleb Edwards. And he is well above his normal average of about 8 points a contest. And now a stingy double team and a jump ball is going to be called. And that will favor Martinsville.
Great pressure. You get the ball in the corner like that, Kurt, and it's hard to get out there because their bigs are all over you.
Frederick for three, and again it's short. And a jump ball again is called, and it will be favoring Guerin Catholic this time.
Our fourth jump ball tonight. That's a lot of jump balls in a high school boys game.
Both teams hustling for the loose balls. 42-25. And Edwards has an opening. Back outside to McGinnis. Babilia. Off of a screen for Oswald. And now playing a little bit of keep away is Guerin as they'll wind some clock. Oswald thinks about a three. Edwards over the big man, and he's fouled.
Boy, they're just shortening the game from Martinsville. Did a nice job. Couldn't convert the free throw field goal, but big guy just has to keep his feet and not reach. He's going to be pretty good in a couple of years.
And Edwards again, true at the foul stripe. He has only missed 2 free throws tonight.
Edwards is the leading scorer tonight. Really surprising for Guerin Catholic.
Averaging only about 8 points a contest. He's now almost doubled that as he misses the second one. In transition, Edwards with the block, and is going to call another jump ball off of that one. And this time it will favor Martinsville.
Interesting call. First time I've ever seen that on a block shot.
And if they hold it long enough, they will call that. Frederick with it in the corner, looking inside to Cheatham, who checks back into the ball game, and Cheatham is going to be fouled. And so now Cheatham, having checked back into the contest, he has 4 fouls tonight. But he also has one of the top scoring columns as he hits the first foul shot. So Cheatham now with 8 points. And he misses the second one. Rebound goes to Edwards. Babilia to McGinnis on the elbow. Tries to shake off the defenders. Underneath. And a traveling violation going to be called on Parento. So now Guerin Catholic going to be implementing the full court press here as they want to try and close this game out and start getting ready for Brebeuf. Underneath now to McGinnis. Tries the reverse, but is fouled.
Boy, felt the contact, threw the ball at the rim so he could get 2 shots.
Noah Stout called for his 3rd personal foul of the evening. And McGinnis hits his first foul shot.
You know, Martinsville only plays 8 players. All of them have played tonight. Getting close to getting some foul trouble.
And McGinnis hits both foul shots. He now has 10 points on the night. Double team in the corner. Underneath now, here's Devon, and he hits it and gets the and one.
I have it unofficially for 13.
And now at the foul stripe, trying to make it unofficially 15 points on my scorebook. And he misses it. Offensive rebound, though, by Martinsville. Long 3, and it is true for Noah Stout. And Martinsville will call a timeout. And it is a full timeout. Timeout with them right here on Indiana SRN.
Your home and office make up a big part of your world. Sometimes trying to manage it all on your own can make you feel like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. And when the weight of the world is on your shoulders, you need a strong back or two to come to your rescue and haul your stress away. You need the College Hunks. Whether it's time to clear some space for new memories, to reinvent the room around you, or to simply pack up and move into a fresh new beginning, you can count on the Hunks to bear your burden so you don't have to. Let us move you today.
If you missed this game, most of this game, well, you can watch it again on demand. Just check us out on YouTube and click the subscribe button on Indiana SRN. That is Indiana SRN at youtube.com. 45-31 is your score as Martinsville still trails quite a bit here late, and it looks like it's going to be once again now their 7th loss in a row this season if things hold true here over the last 4 minutes and 15 seconds.
But they improved them last night. Last night they only scored 28 points, gave up 72, but only had 28, have 31 tonight. I think Coach Kip is going to be happy with some of the things they did. They just need to keep working.
And the thing's a bit testy there, and now a foul is going to be going the other direction. Rather, it's going to be a Martinsville foul. It's going to be against Brady Costin, his 3rd, and it will put Oswald at the line for 2 shots. Oswald has yet to get into the scores column tonight, and he can do so right here with 2 made free throws. And he does so with the first one.
Don't forget the city tournament starts next week. Got action for you all week long on Indiana SRN.
One of the highly coveted matchups will be that Heritage Christian Ritter matchup between 8 and 9 for the city tournament. So Oswald makes both free throws. Here's Cheatham inside, and he can't get anything doing there. It's tipped out of bounds by Guerin.
Bernie McGinnis realized he was out of bounds. He goes, oh, shoot, I can't touch the ball.
Inbound to Frederick, and now up top to Noah Stout. And a foul away from the ball.
That's a great call away from the ball.
And they're going to get Cheatham, and that is number 5 on Cheatham. And he fouls out of the contest and will finish with 8 points.
Tell you what, the officials have done a nice job of looking off ball, watching the holds. That has made our game a lot better and a lot cleaner.
Full court press from Martinsville, but Guerin able to get through it, and Oswald will lay it in for an easy 2. His first field goal tonight. And driving inside and drawing the foul is Landon Myers.
Here's the pressure for Martinsville as you get 3 guys on him and you have 2 guys wide open. Had an opportunity to pass the ball, but he wanted to get in the newspaper.
And so Oswald gets his first field goal of the night, making his total for 4 points. Meanwhile, Landon Myers has not had a field goal tonight. All of his points coming at the foul stripe as he hits both of them.
I kind of like his last name.
It's spelled different, though, as Edwards will lay it in. Edwards having a big game tonight. Now with 18 points and a foul in transition. Martinsville doing all they can to extend this game as much as they can. Meanwhile, Coach Kip Staggs will put in a new line here.
It's almost like a hockey line here for Martinsville.
And so Myers picks up his 4th personal foul. And Edwards at the line. And he cannot convert the front end. Now a few subs come in for Martinsville, including the big man, Dayton Devon. Devon was slow to get going here for Martinsville, but he's picked it up a little bit as Edwards makes the 2nd foul shot. 19 points for him tonight. Long 3 on the way from Rautenkrantz, and he can't get that to fall. Frederick up top now to Myers. And now a foul away from the ball. Going to be on Guerin. Give that to Jack Parento.
First foul, 33, Jack Parento, his third.
So now you get the big man Devon at the line for a few foul shots as a couple more subs check in for Martinsville. One and one front end is good. He earns another one.
Looks like he's going to be checked out if he makes this free throw, so they're going to play offense and defense.
And he makes the 2nd foul shot.
Watch pressure for Martinsville now. They haven't quit. That's a good thing, Kurt.
So Devon checks out of the game. He has 13 points so far. And on the other end, Edwards to Babilia. He finds an open lane, lays it up, and lays it in. A nifty move there by Babilia. And definitely embraced that point guard role has Babilia. Not doing a lot of scoring, but more running the offense. But he can definitely shoot it when need be. On the other end, there's Brady Costin getting a big 2-pointer. And now a foul. They're going to get Noah Stout, or rather Zach Lynn with it, his 4th. That'll put Babilia at the line for 2 foul shots. And that's off the front of the iron, no good. A few more subs as Dayton Devon will check back in. 54-37 is your score, and Guerin just trying to run as much clock as they can and close this thing out. And the second one is good for Babilia. Underneath, turnaround jumper from Stout is just off the front of the iron.
As we're at the 2-minute mark.
Babilia turns the corner and puts it off the glass, and they're going to call a charge. Rather, no, it's going to be a good basket. It looked like the official had made the charge call, but it's actually a good basket and an and one. So that's now 5 fouls for Landon Myers, the second player to foul out for Martinsville. And with that, Coach Staggs' bench is getting ever so smaller.
Couple of guys have 4, few have 3.
Craig Wessner checks into the contest. He is only one of 2 players that have not committed a foul for Martinsville this evening. And a steal by Bernie McGinnis. As we approach the 1.5-minute mark. Babilia just trying to dribble and play keep away here. As Will Grissom will take it in and tries to put up the shot, but it's blocked away and out of bounds by Devon. So checking back in and checking out will be Devon. And checking in. And so dribbling around now Babilia. As Guerin Catholic can just dribble this thing out, hopefully. And now a foul. So that puts Will Grissom at the line.
So Martinsville will go down to Perry Meridian on Friday night next week. And Guerin Catholic has a whole week to prepare for a conference battle with Bubuff. Could be an interesting contest next week, Kurt.
Well, it's definitely a must-win for Guerin Catholic if they want to stay in the hunt for the conference championship. Bubuff unbeaten in the Circle City Conference so far this year. As we'll see Grissom take a few more foul shots. Grissom has seen limited action so far this season. He's only played in 7 games coming into this contest. This will be his 8th one this year. Reliable in these certain situations whenever Coach Allen needs him. Long 3 off the mark. And they'll get Bo Frederick with a foul away from the ball.
This is when you clean everything up. Try to stay clean, don't get anybody hurt.
As Grissom misses the front end. 61-37, largest lead of the evening for Guerin. And Martinsville made it a game. Earlier at halftime, they had only trailed by 4, but they have not had a good second half. So now dribbling it out is Craig Wessner for Martinsville. There's a steal, almost anyway. And now a shot on the way from Rattenkrautz, and that's no good, but a foul called on Guerin. So they're going to give that foul to Will Grissom. That'll be his first foul here as 30 seconds remain in this contest. And Brady Costin hits the front end of the 1-and-1. And so now here's Will Grissom bringing it across, and he will just dribble the clock out as Guerin Catholic given a little bit of a scare at halftime, but they led from start to finish, and they will come away with their 11th victory of the season and a big pick-me-up after that tough loss they had to a Covenant Christian just 24 hours ago. Final score, Guerin Catholic 61, Martinsville 38. 11-3 does moves Guerin Catholic there, as well as Martinsville. They drop to 1-12. So we'll throw it down to Coach Keith Myers here in just a little bit to get an interview with Coach Bob Allen in just a little bit as they go through the final handshakes. And now with that, we will send it down to Keith Myers, who is live with Bob Allen.
Well, a split is not bad for the weekend.
We'll take it. I mean, obviously we'll take every win. We felt like last night we gave up an opportunity to take command of the conference. But we came out and responded today. Caleb Edwards had his big game for us. He was active today, which he's capable of doing whenever he wants. I thought Joseph Babilia and Bernie did their part tonight as well. In the second half, obviously, we came out and, I think they struggled with our press a little bit. But it's good to see our guys have some energy after a tough loss last night.
Edwards had 19. He really bounced to 4. Bernie was not as effective tonight, but did some key rebounds. But I tell you what, your inside game played pretty well in the second half.
Yeah, I think, their coach knew what he was doing. When they took Bernie out of the game, luckily we had Caleb step up for us, and Bernie was fine with it. He did his part. He let them kind of take him out of the offensive flow a little bit, but we had guys respond, and we got some easy buckets.
About a week from now, well, actually about 6 days from now, you play Buff, a big conference game. You go through practice. You don't have to play any more games but that one. Do you concentrate solely on that game? It's a must-win for you for the conference.
Yeah, it's a must-win. We still have so many things that our team has to work on at this point. We're going to focus on some fundamentals, but obviously we're going to sprinkle Rebuff in right when we get back in the gym on Monday. We're going to enjoy the win. We're going to celebrate that right now. I'm happy for our guys, but we're going to remind them that we got a big week coming up for us. And, sectional opponent, conference opponent, opportunity to get back up at the top with Covenant Christian. But we just want our guys to have fun and just, be ready to play.
Pizza party at your house tomorrow with both games. What time do we need to be there, and do we need to bring anything?
I will send the invitation out soon for that.
That means I don't get to go. Thanks, Bobby, Coach.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Back up to you guys.
Thank you, Keith. Final score once again, 61-37 as Guerin Catholic improves to 11-3 on the season. Then with that, we will go ahead and say so long here from Guerin Catholic. Once again, final score 61-38, and Guerin Catholic will be once again playing Brebeuf in just a week on January 24th. Meanwhile, Martinsville will be taking on Perry Meridian. Thanks for joining us here on the broadcast tonight. For Coach Keith Myers, I'm Kurt Darling saying so long till next time. You've been watching IHSAA Boys Basketball on Indiana SRN.